Ilhan Omar sided against U.S. soldiers in Battle of Mogadishu A 2017 tweet from Somali-American Rep. Ilhan Omar, discovered by John Rossomando of the Investigative Project on Terrorism, appears to slam U.S. soldiers for their efforts in fighting a Somali warlord's militia during the infamous Battle of Mogadishu. He forgets to also mention the thousands of Somalis killed by the American forces that day. Omar tweeted, using the hashtag #NotTodaySatan, in response to a post commemorating the loss of 19 U.S. soldiers during the operation. The epic battle and the U.S. troops' heroism and sacrifice during the campaign are depicted in the film Black Hawk Down. Read the full story from IPT. Vladimir Putin emerges victorious from Mueller probe, citing a former CIA station chief in Moscow. John Solomon of The Hill makes the case that Russia, and Vladimir Putin himself, emerged victorious as a result of the Mueller probe. I made a similar argument in February 2018 in Conservative Review, writing that the Mueller probe itself perfectly serves Russia's agenda. North Korean regime takes shots at Bolton and Pompeo, but keeps Trump in good graces. For now this weekend, regime officials in North Korea teed off against top U.S. officials, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and National Security Advisor John Bolton. Media outlets have taken notice of the apparent strategy to target everyone but the president. Some believe that Pyongyang appreciates the president's less hostile rhetoric and prefers to negotiate with Trump rather than his deputies. Others see a more broad anti-American messaging campaign that is focused on forcing the president's hand. VOA reports, North Korea has directed a wave of criticism at top White House officials, as talks with the United States have stalled. But one person Pyongyang hasn't criticized, Donald Trump. The pattern reflects North Korea's apparent preference to continue negotiating directly with Trump, who has taken a more conciliatory approach to the nuclear talks than many of his deputies, the report adds. It also appears to be a carefully calibrated effort by North Korea to increase negotiating pressure on the U.S. without completely derailing the talks. U.S. tightens screws on Tehran regime. Ends Iranian oil waivers for all nations. The U.S. State Department announced Monday that the Trump administration will discontinue waivers that allow select countries to continue to buy Iran-based energy and thwart U.S. sanctions. Today I am announcing that we will no longer granting any exemptions, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said Monday. We are going to zero. We are going to zero across the board. 8 countries had previously been granted oil waivers: China, Turkey, Japan, India, South Korea, Taiwan, Italy, and Greece. The Tehran regime has lashed out against the decision and threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz, a strategically important choke point and a vital shipping route to the Persian Gulf. Ukraine elects new president on populist platform. Volodymyr Zelensky, who is best known in the country as an actor and comedian, has ousted incumbent Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko in a blowout. With over 90% of the ballots counted, Zelensky had 73% of the vote with Poroshenko at just under 25%, NBC News reports. I'm not yet officially the president, but as a citizen of Ukraine, I can say to all countries in the post-Soviet Union, look at us. Anything is possible. The newly elected president said Sunday night during his victory speech. Zelensky won the presidency on a largely populist platform, promising to enhance the transparency of the political process and to tackle political corruption within the country. Authors note, this post originally appeared in Blaze Media's The Dossier newsletter. For foreign policy news and views delivered to your inbox twice a week, subscribe here or use the form below. Author, Jordan Skakdal. Jordan Skakdal is the national security correspondent for Conservative Review and editor of the Dossier for Blaze Media. Follow him on Twitter at Jordan Skakel. Let's block ads. Why?